Hello there, and welcome to my channel, Novice Modelling in the Midlife Crisis. My name is Andy, and today we're doing What's in the Box number 276, and it's going to feature my ICM 1/72nd scale TB-3 Soviet heavy bomber. Now, I've got a question for you. Do you ever buy a kit on eBay or whatever and think, oh wow, that looks awesome, and then you unpack it and you go, whoa! That's kind of what I did this evening, even though I've had this for a while. Now, these kits are kind of rare, you could say. They're pretty hard to come by, and they ain't cheap. They ain't that expensive either, I suppose. I think I paid £54 for this with the postage, which is kind of reasonable. They go for around about sort of £60 plus. The kit history on this, ICM originally introduced this particular box of fun, we'll say, in 1999. There were some new decals added for a Chinese nationalist version in 2000, and in 2000-ish there was also a Zveno TB-3 added to the range, which is the one with the parasite fighters. So you get two little fighters that hang down underneath. And in the early 2000s, a company called Alanga also had a go of it as well. You can also get a kit by a company called Mars, which was released in the mid-2010s off a new tooling. So what that one looks like, I have no idea. I can't find the Mars kit or the Alanga kit on eBay, so I would assume that they're harder to come by than the ICM one is. So we're going to go through the parts of this. We're going to have a look at the instruction sheet and the decals and whatever. But I thought I'd just go through the brief history of the kit first, which is only a little bit from the blurb. The TB-3 was the main Soviet bomber throughout the 1930s. These planes belonged to the long-range bomber aviation force prior to World War II. The TB-3 was designed between 1925 and 1930 in A. Tupolev's design bureau. The first prototype, the Ant-6, took to the air on December the 22nd, 1930. Serial production started in 1932. The TB-3 heavy bomber served in the USSR and China. Machines of this type saw action at Glazed and Khalkhin Gol during the Winter War between the Soviet Union and Finland, and also during World War II between 1941 and 45. They were deployed in roles of heavy night bomber, transport, and as airborne aircraft for paratroops. 819 planes of this type were built between 1932 and 38, type in 6 variants, 4 military and 2 civil. Now I'm going to tell you the length of this thing. It was 24.4 meters long apparently, and had a wingspan of 39.5 meters. Now I kind of measured it out, the wings, when you assemble them, because you need to put multiple parts together, and a wing is 25 centimeters long. So this thing has a wingspan plus the fuselage of around about 55 centimeters, which is kind of from there to there. It's almost as big as my Super Fortress, basically. It's bloody massive. So we'll have a look at the parts now, and then we'll have a look at the instructions. So first off, you get 2 bits of wing like this, and this is not a wing. The wing is about that big. There's more pieces you need to attach. Oh, joy. And as you can see, they've all got this sort of corrugated, rippled effect on them, which is quite nice. We've got these big ribs on as well. There's no real sort of mounting points. There's a whole bit of bits of stuff that needs to be trimmed off. It can be said that ICM are producing, I think, slightly better kits now than they were in the late 1990s. But there we go. So we get two sections like that, and they go together pretty much like here. And as we can see, an engine nacelle, the outer one goes in there. So that is that part of the wing. What do we pick out next? We've got this part here. I haven't quite figured out what this part is. I think this is the under section of the wing. Seems to have some indication as to where the fuselage is going to sort of line up down the centres here. Again, we've got these multiple ribs on them. This part here is the inner part of the upper wing. So So the first two sections, so we need to add those on as well. No mounting points again. Now let's have a look at this bit. This part here is another section of the upper wing, and this part goes, I think it goes here. So there's a lot of bits of wing to stick together, sort of like in a sectional part. We can see here we've got part of the fuselage. I'm not going to hazard a guess as to what that is. I think that goes that way like that. So that's going towards the front, and that's the sort of rear where the tail is going to come up here. Yeah, okay. Here we have parts of the fuselage. This is the central section behind the the open air pilot configuration. So we can see these two little windows or whatever they are here, and this ends where these two gunners are. This then is going to probably be the end section for where our tail comes in, and I'm going to hazard a guess that this is the underneath section that goes under there. I mean, there's our tail. I mean, I measured that against a sort of a fighter aircraft, and a fighter aircraft's wingspan is about that big. So yeah, it's pretty big. Obviously we've got some ailerons here to attach. Guessing they're going to be those ones, though they don't really look like them. Who knows? We'll figure it out in the instruction section. Here we have these two parts. These are leading edges of the wings. So this one goes in between these two engines, and this one here goes in between the engine and the fuselage. We've got some more ailerons here. This looks like it's going to be our rudder. Leading edges again, I'm thinking. Leading edges of the wings, maybe. Rudder, so this is the front section of the aircraft, so we can see we've got the pilot's open cockpit here, and this space for our front gunner. Woof. Okay, this is our first sprue of stuff. So here we have the front section, so we can see the wing slots in here, and this is part of the front gunner's area. So we've got this side and then that side. No, I don't know what those two bits there are. They're the wing tips. That's what they are. And what's this bit here? That's probably going to be where the gunners pop out here, I'm thinking. And then we've got a few other bits and bobs going on there. There we go. Another one of stuff here. These are kind of look like wing spans and stuff. So we got, this is obviously the interior of the wing. This looks like a sort of a bulkhead between the, I don't know, maybe going in here somewhere. One of these bits. And probably interior bulkheads for the fuselage, I would have thought. Kind of mystified as to what this is here. Instructions. Yes, that's all interiors of the sort of interiors of the airframe or the wings. Some big wing spars here to go across, and we can see these sort of click into these support sections for the wings. And there's another wing spar there. We've got a sprue here with a bunch of bombs on it. I'm not certain what all these small parts are. They look like sticks for the pilots, but they're way too big. Don't know what that is. They're wheels. That's pretty obvious. I'm not too sure what this is. There seems to be these sort of railings going across the outside of it here. Not sure what they're all about. They look like sort of suspension for the fixed undercarriage. They're going to be parts of the undercarriage there. Probably going to be the sort of spinny sections for our gunners. Couple of seats. got 4 engines. These are dual-sided, ready moulded. So they're obviously going to go in there. Kind of looks a bit like suspension, undercarriage, what have you. Bunch of 2-bladed propellers. Engine cowlings. It's not exactly great looking, but it looks good enough. If you know what I mean, the detail. I don't know. Just curious for a second. Yeah, so I've just pulled out my A model Zveno 1A, which is the sort of smaller version of this. Just have a look at the wings, because I can't remember. I've done a review on this one. This is a more modern kit, obviously, and the wing sort of corrugated features on the wings are much better, I think, on the A model kit. I was just curious on that. I just wanted to have a quick nose. So yeah, so they're the parts. So let's have a look at this here, which is the these are all the glazed sections. A lot of windows and what's that? That's going to be the cockpit, I think. Not certain. A whole lot of windows there. We get a big decal sheet here with a bunch of Russian stars on it. Also comes with the Chinese nationalist one, which is kind of curious, making me think this is actually a slightly later version. So let's have a look at the instructions on how to put this bad boy together. Oh, sure. Right. So there's our sprue diagrams. Section 1. I don't even know what this is. These are not great instructions. I have had a look at these already. So we've got a part here. I think this is the front of the cockpit. We can see where the wings go here. So there's a whole load of stuff going on there. This is section 3. So this is like the cockpit interior, because we've obviously got the 2 pilot seats here at the front. So there's a whole load of things going on in the interior that we're never going to see, which is kind of interesting. We've got a bunch of gun mountings, maybe. Stick these bombs together, and I'm going to start having fun with these wings with all these spars. Shush. That's what that bit's for. So there we go. So we build these spars, and then we're going to start putting wing panels on. So this is the central section here. So we can see this bit is go into the fuselage. So we've got this big long piece to go underneath the fuselage, and the first 2 bits of the wings, and then 2 other bits to build that. And then we've got the end section of the wings. So yeah, it's a big... What the hell is this? So this is the fuselage going together. So we can see we've got a load of bulkheads going through here, which is going to help us put it all together. So we've got sides to go onto the fuselage, and then we have tops and a bottom, obviously, as well. Putting a tail on here as well. So we're going to put the top sections and the ailerons onto the wings. These are front sections as well. That's step 10. Step 11 is all undercarriage and engine nacelles. So there's a whole load of detail going on the interior of the engine, which we're going to close into the engine nacelles. Hardly see it again. And then obviously we're just going to stick those onto the front. 15. Some small parts going underneath, a couple of bombs. Got the undercarriage going in. Looks like we've got a tail skid to go on the back. And then we're going to put our gun mounts on. And hell, that's it. I mean, it's kind of like a 50 centimetre by 50 centimetre aircraft, and it's done in as many steps as it takes to pretty much do a fighter. We've got a bunch of... and obviously we can see we've got some various... and then we can see we've got various colour diagrams going on here as well, including the Chinese Guomindan Air Force, Hankow Air Base, May 1938. And then we've got the upper look at it as well. So there we go. I hope you found that interesting. And we've done a couple of other big Russian bombers previously. Obviously, I've just pulled that one out. That's the Zveno 1A with Parasite fighters above the wings. There's a kit review already done for that one. If you want to go and have a look at my other what's in the boxes, there'll be a link somewhere around here. We've also done the Stalin's plane, the rather massive Petlikov PE-8ON. At some point in the future we'll be doing some of the slightly smaller ones, like the SB2M100A, which is probably quite well known. But we've also got this AR model ER2, which is kind of really cool looking. Oh, look at that one. So we'll be doing that at some point in the future as well. So thanks very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. And do remember to check out the other videos in our growing selection of what's in the box kit reviews. There will be more interesting and odd and weird kits coming up from this rather odd and weird YouTuber in the not so distant future. So thanks for watching again. Be seeing you.